Dude, it's so much is going on right now. I'll be honest, guys, it's hard to keep track. Like literally, if I made a video about every mayhem sort of thing that would be happening, I would have to make like 20 videos a day. Obviously, their main, so far, the Trump administration / Project 2025 people, their main functional methodology has been to overwhelm. That's what it is. It's been about overwhelming. They are flooding. They're flooding the emergency, flooding the executive orders. They're flooding with Elon just tampering with shit, you know, shutting people out of computers, locking people out of offices. But they're doing so much at once that it is impossible to track it all. And the damage of this, guys, is going to be immense. Like, it's going to be immense. Part of me is a little sad because I realize that there are people my age, like we have kids that are going out into the adult world, and having this be what's happening, like right before my kid goes out into the adult world, it makes me fucking sad, man. Like, I feel like we worked so hard to make a better world. The world, you know, you go back 10 years ago and there's everything about this world was better than when I was in middle school. And now the assholes that were fucking douchebags when I was in fucking middle school, right? They're trying to return us. They're trying to return us to that white fucking mediocre male bully. That's what it is. We're going to watch a Jasmine Crockett video here in a little bit, but it is white mediocre males, okay? White mediocre men who believe that they should get the best jobs and be able to be bullies, even though they're not qualified, okay? Trump and Elon, these guys, they're not qualified. They're stooges.
I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel a way and why you can't make me doubt who I am is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder. This is why they don't want us to have education. This is why they are trying to literally say we won't fund the HBCUs, because they know that if they've already gone after affirmative action and they're saying, you know what, don't allow them to come into, say, these PWIs, as we call them, don't allow them to come into these institutions. We know why they created the HBCUs in the first place. It was because they wouldn't allow us into the white institutions. And so now they're not allowing us in. And now they're saying, you know what, we're also going to defund the HBCUs. You know why? Because they don't want any more Kamala Harrises. They don't want any more Jasmine Crockett's. But I got news for them. I don't care what they do. We will fight to the end to make sure that we get our due. Because again, if you want to talk about the people that shouldn't be in this country, you probably need to look in the mirror, because the last time I checked, the Native Americans who some of ICE have been rounding up, or the Puerto Ricans who are absolutely Americans, listen, the only people that came and colonized this place are your ancestors, Trump.
There's all this stuff going on, and it is so easy and it's natural when you see all of this stuff falling apart to get paralyzed, because all of it is so overwhelming and you don't know what to do about it, but it's also very pressing information, and so you know it's going to affect your life or the life of people that you know, but what do you do about it? What is Congress doing about it? What's our leadership doing about it? The first order of business is to self-regulate. What authoritarian regimes try to do is that they often try to, what is known as flood the zone, do so much at once, or try to do so much at once that it gets carried in the news that you are that you feel overwhelmed and paralyzed.
Yeah, they want you to shut down is what they want. They want you to not put up any fight, right? Now, that's the goal. The goal is to make you feel like it's just so much that there's no point in resisting it. And I think it's really important to stay energized. And we've talked about this a little bit, about the idea of joy and maintaining that in your life, staying physically healthy. Like right now, I have like quadrupled my self-help regimen. I am, seeing a doctor, getting all my associated tests done. Part of that is because I don't know if I'm going to lose my health insurance, but I'm sort of getting all my health checkups in order. I am seeing a physical therapist for an issue I've had with my stomach. I have a body worker that every couple weeks I'm going, getting massage, working shit out. I'm going on walks and trying to get more physical exercise. I'm working on my core. And I say this to you because it's really important that we stay physically and mentally sharp through this, through the overwhelm. If you can take up like meditation or yoga, if you have a gym routine, whatever you do, you want to make sure that you're getting out there, even if you're walking, even if you're just walking or whatever, you want to stay physically and mentally sharp. It's really, really important. It will help with the beatdown. It will help to stay energized in however you are resisting, whether you're making content or you're just being a voice, in your local communities, or even just feeling like connected enough, with yourself and grounded enough to stay present in your communities. Because what can really happen, guys, we run the risk of you feeling overwhelmed. You sort of let that self-care stuff go. You let those things that bring you joy go. And then where are you going to end up? You're going to end up on Facebook or on Twitter or in a headset, like in some video game chat or something. You're going to end up in a place that's just gloomy and not at all feeling like you can actually do something about this. So I highly recommend in times of stress, in times of trouble, in times of overwhelm, is when you want to sort of increase your participation in that shit that keeps you healthy. Okay. It's really, really important. It's good for your mind. It's good for your soul. It's good, depending on where you are in the family situation. Like, I have a girlfriend, a son. It's important for me to stay connected and present and powerful enough that if they need to lean on me, I'm available, and so I highly recommend that. If you don't have a mental health routine, now's the time to get one. Even if it's as simple as meditation, there's hundreds of meditation videos on YouTube. You could easily find one. You could do it for like 10 minutes a day, twice a day. And that shit will be the difference between like massive depression and just, a lot of sadness. I highly encourage it. Find something that works for you, that fits in your schedule, and please engage with it.
So I'm not saying that getting in the game with these is going 100% to change the outcome. But it may, because we are in an unprecedented time. An unprecedented time can mean, of course, many bad things happen, but it can also mean that unpredictable things can happen, and unpredictable things can often go our way. I was elected in the first Trump administration, and nobody ever thought that I had a prayer in order to win. I was a waitress.
Yeah. Dude.
I was challenged.
She opposed a longtime incumbent. He was kind of old though, but yeah, it was a shocker.
The head of a political machine who was supposed to be the next Speaker of the House. They spent $3 million against me while I was wiping down tables. And we won. Why? Because an unpredictable window has opened. Do not comply in advance. You try anyway. We try and
See, this kind of stems in with how I was talking about people running, working class people. I'm telling you guys, I really think now more than ever is the time where if you are a working class person, you have a good story somewhere, you know, you're a single mom or you're from a working class family. Now more than ever, I believe is the time that working class people can build a little profile on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram or whatever, and you can roll that into a tiny bit of political capital and you can get in there and run. And even if you don't win, if we can get a whole bunch of working class people to run who are talking about the agenda that will help working people, we have a profound opportunity to change the political energy right now. It is really very real, right? I mean, it may sound, you know, esoteric or unlikely, but I'm telling you guys, I promise you, as a guy, like you see me, I have a pretty good attitude. I have a pretty good sort of like relationship with positivity and keeping coming back for more and a never say die attitude. And like, I know how to like not give up and how to chase my dreams. And one thing I can tell you guys is when you go through hardship, when you go through those times where shit gets difficult and it feels like overwhelming and like maybe you can't take it, maybe you're not going to get through this, it feels like very severe and very dire. Those are the greatest times for reinvention, for like discovery of like a personal power and a wherewithal and a grit that maybe you didn't even know you had, but you can summon this shit when you go through these hard times, when you get your ass kicked a little bit and you can come out feeling really empowered. But it circles back to what we talked about in the very beginning about that self-care, about taking care of your mind, taking care of your body, make sure you're eating right, make sure you're staying hydrated, make sure you're getting exercise, meditation, yoga, whatever you can do, even if it's just walking more. Just make sure you're focusing on staying fit, staying up to the fight. And I think we should have, like, I think everybody who can should try to run for office from local on up, right? School board, like whatever, dude, county water commissioner, doesn't fucking matter. Just run for something if you can, okay? And put that energy of progressive change. So I want to figure this shit out. And part of the reason why I have some of the issues is about the fatalism. Like you can relentlessly attack Democrats. You can relentlessly find fault in your leaders. They're finding fault with AOC. They're finding fault. There are people calling Bernie a fucking sellout. I mean, there's no end to the fatalism that happens when you become somebody who just denigrates and tears down. And so what I challenge you, even if you are a leftist who buys into that and gets fed by that kind of negativity of like the Dems they're up, they've lost everything, they've lost their way, there's no good leaders, whatever. That shit. Instead of just sitting there and crying about it, and instead of sitting there and watching videos with content creators telling you over and over how bad the Democrats are and how nothing can be done, take some matters in your own goddamn hands and become part of the solution. Get involved, run for office, or pick a candidate and help them get into office. But don't be one of those people who just sits around and fucking cries about your party not doing anything and gets into that fatalist, all is lost methodology, okay? Because if you get into that fatalist, the election was stolen, nobody's doing anything, the Democrats can't lead the party, everything's lost. If you just eat that shit up and you don't become part of the solution, you become the victim that the fascists love. You become dinner for the fucking fascists, okay? So don't do that. It's a fucking trap. You need to stay inspired, you need to stay engaged, and you need to believe that you can make a difference, that we can do something, because we can. But the only person that can make the difference is you and me. And all of us individually have to make a difference. You can't just sit there crying about like how the party sucks and the establishment sucks and the sky is falling, and then you don't can get involved. And like, yeah, lift up progressive candidates. I'd like to see some of these guys run. I'd like to see Hassan, right? Run, man. Kyle Kulinski, fucking run, bro. Get out there and run. Be the guy that you say you want to see in office and go show them how it's done. Be a leader, okay? Fucking run, goddammit. I'm thinking about it in 2028. We have to be proactive, okay? We have to be living in the solution. We do. We have to be living in the solution. And I think it means getting involved. So run for office or start a political YouTube or start a local political group or start a book club of reading like society forward materials, anything where you are actively engaging with a community of people, putting energy into progressive advancement of society. And if we all do that in some small way, we're going to fucking win this, okay? You are not fodder for the fascists unless you stay paralyzed. If you stay paralyzed, if you feel that there's nobody good in the world, there's no good politicians, all the Dems are corrupt, if you buy into that shit, you are going to be food for those guys. Use that energy to be part of the solution and not just complainers tearing down the Democratic Party, because we need to unite, guys. Everybody that fucking hates Joe Biden needs to unite with everybody that loves Joe Biden. And we got to lock arms like the wall of goddamn moms and take on these fascist motherfuckers. And we have to, take some heads, bro. It needs to happen. But it's not going to happen if we just shit on each other the whole time. And I mean, I need to watch this too, because I fucking shit on people. I'm calling out Cenk and Anna all the time. But like, we still need to unite. It's very, very important, guys. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.